What's up guys, very soon, 9th of May, Khamzat Chimaev will face Sean Strickland. It will be his first defense of the title. There are many speculations that Strickland is a big problem for Khamzat, but come on. We all understand that Chimaev will smash and finish him before the third round begins. But before already this fight, Borz said that he needs a second belt in light heavyweight division, and he's going to move up there. But Dana White forbade him until he defends the title in the middleweight, and that sounds reasonable on the one hand. Well, in the light heavyweight division is a real messy now. Alex Pereira moved up to heavyweight. Ankalaev lost by brutal knockout, and perhaps he will need several fights to become a contender. Khalil Roundtree and Jamal Hill are no longer needed by anyone. Prochaska has just lost to Carlos Ulberg by heavy knockout, and Ulberg himself is out of fights due to his injury. There is stuck in the division. But suddenly, Paulo Costa changed a middleweight to light heavyweight and has appeared at UFC 327 and defeated Azamat Murzakanov, who's supposed to be a new prospect. Paulo Costa has re-established himself as a top contender, securing 2 crucial victories over Russia's athletes to rebuild his momentum. Even in new division, Paulo Costa has some difficulties in weight cutting. He appeared exhausted on April 11th, 2026 and was seen struggling with the weight cut, and probably now he can show all his abilities in 205 pounds. Now, Paulo Costa is big guy made of pressurized muscles tank. Borrachino is able to wrestle, he can punch heavily, and he's got 5 rounds fight experience. But Paramount wants big fights, and when Khamzat smashes Sean Strickland, he will be allowed to move up to new weight division, and Paulo Costa is perfect option for their contest. The most delicious is that they have a conflict already. Costa is known for throwing heavy hooks, jabs, and body shots with high pressure. He often heavily weights his front leg, similar to a clean lift, allowing him to generate significant power in his lead hand hooks. He frequently damages opponents with hooks to the body, as seen in his win over Uriah Hall. Out of his 16 wins, 12 have come by KO and TKO. Despite that Paulo Costa is primarily a striker, he has demonstrated effective, albeit rudimentary, wrestling for MMA, notably using high single-leg takedowns. He often forces opponents toward the fence, utilizing clinch work to secure takedowns and maintain control, earning a respectable 70% grappling effectiveness. Costa often relies on high single-leg takedowns rather than a diverse arsenal, frequently implementing them after putting pressure on opponents. So, while considered primarily a striker, his wrestling has shown progress over his career, focusing on practical techniques for his top pressure style. But he also has weaknesses. One of them is stamina. If Costa starts contests too fast, then he can be already a bit exhausted in the second round, and that happens due to his muscles, which require oxygen. The second weakness is a lack of elite defensive boxing, particularly susceptibility to jabs and straight counters, and a tendency to fight too aggressively, exposing his hips. Besides, despite the heavy punches, I cannot call Costa a puncher like Ngannou or Justin Gaethje. He mostly loads opponent with a tonnage of punches and kicks than one killing strike. Khamzat Chimaev is known by elite, relentless freestyle wrestling, high-pressure grappling, and devastating ground and pound. He utilizes a smash-style approach, combining cage pressure grappling with quick, sneaky takedowns and heavy top control to break opponents mentally and physically. Borz uses wrestling skills to dictate where the fight takes place. He often lifts opponents, slams them, and utilizes immediately transitioning to a new takedown if the first fails. The only opponents who resist him badly were Kamaru Usman and Gilbert Burns. Some MMA experts still consider that Usman won second and third rounds. The key to the victory over Khamzat is simple and difficult simultaneously. You need to survive in the first and second rounds resisting to his takedowns and wrestling, and afterwards push forward and pressurize him with striking when Chimaev is exhausted already. After Dricus du Plessis' defeat, many fans consider that Khamzat improved his stamina, but if you remember, du Plessis several times gifted him a perfect crucifix positions himself, and to be frankly, Chimaev did not invest too much power. That's why I am sure that Chimaev's gas tank is still his problem. The striking of Borz is not so developed as wrestling, but his fists have power and can knock fighters out. Moreover, Chimaev is very predictable. It is very obviously now that he always sets up takedown, transitioning to a single or double leg just in a few seconds after the bell. What fight can we watch? 100% Chimaev will jump to hug hips and try to drop Costa to the canvas. If Costa will stop first takedown and then immediately switch to high pressure volume striking, then I think it will be a very interesting first round. Even if Khamzat takes him down after first seconds, Borrachino needs to survive, stand up, and use his kicks, not often because it can lead to another takedown from Khamzat. Paulo must pressurize him. Pressure is a good weapon against wrestlers. Let me remind you Alex Pereira's fight versus Ankalaev. Poatan went forward from the very beginning. The wrestlers don't like to be under pressure and high volume pace. They like to dictate their own fight, and especially if the opponents are afraid of takedowns. So everything can happen, but light heavyweight is another level for Khamzat. Paulo Costa is a big elephant in this division and will be heavier than Bor's. Chimaev needs immense explosive power to take him down, and if you won't be able to hold Borrachino on the ground, then it will be a hard night for Khamzat. I think it won't be the same fight as Khamzat had before. My prediction is Khamzat will lose in the light heavyweight division. Like, comment, and subscribe, please. See ya!